Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Hamad Al-Lahim, and I would like to welcome you all to today's session, Commit to Data. This session is co-hosted by the General Authority for Statistics of Saudi Arabia, United Statistic Division, Open Data Watch, and Paris 21. And it forms part of Road to Riyadh, the broader Road to Riyadh in preparation for the 6th United Nations World Data Forum in November 2026. Thank you all for joining. Before we dive into the substance, I would like to point out that this session is being recorded and will be shared after. Today, we'll begin with a welcoming remarks from Fahd Al-Dosari, President of the General Authority for Statistics, followed by Shantanu Mukherjee, Acting Director of the UN Statistics Division. The session will then be moderated by Johannes Jotik, the Executive Head of Paris 21, who will guide us through today's agenda. With that, it is my pleasure to invite Dosari to deliver his opening remarks. Dosari, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Hamad. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all. I'd like to welcome you to this panel discussion on an important topic, Commit to Data. And I'd like in the beginning to thank Paris 21, Open Data Watch, our colleagues there for their commitment and also support in hosting this important event, and of course to our colleagues in the UNSD and also in JSTAT for preparing for this for this panel discussion. As Hamid mentioned, this is part of our Road to Riyadh initiative. This is the fifth event in Road to Riyadh, leading to the UN World Data Forum in November in Riyadh and November of this year. Today we will discuss an update on the Commit to Data initiative, what has been done, what has been achieved so far, and because of data and technology is changing around us, so it's good to also to look at new commitments from many of our partners as well. We always talk about AI nowadays more than before. So AI is an important digital advancement that's happening everywhere in the world. And maybe just to highlight part of our institutional strategy that we completed in end of 2025 was preparing for the new strategy. So we already approved a new strategy from 26 to 2030, and the focus and using technologies available and also be relevant to the changes in technologies globally. And of course, AI is one of the main pillars that will be mainly focused. We have also worked in a few good examples and experiences in implementing AI tools and technologies into either classifications to ensure best quality of input coming into our calculations, and also preparing these indicators and statistics to end users with the ease, and for them also to benefit from these tools, AI tools. We have about an hour and a half and so many things to discuss, so I don't want to take a very long time discussing here, but I really would like to thank all of our partners for their engagement, for their commitment, collaboration, and look forward for a productive discussion. Thank you again for being with us in this panel discussion, and please enjoy it. Thank you.
Would you like me to go next?
Yes, please, Shantanu. You are invited to speak next. So thank you so much.
Greetings, everybody, from a very early morning in New York. Greetings from the Statistics Division. I am delighted to welcome you to today's Commit to Data webinar. Thank you for taking the time to be with us, and a special shout out to those who will share their experiences with us today. Today's event, of course, is one of the series on the Road to Riyadh, where we will meet for the 6th UN World Data Forum in November this year. My deepest appreciation to the government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the General Authority for Statistics for their generous support in hosting the forum itself, as well as these pre-events, and for their excellent collaboration with us. I would also like to recognize the hard work and vision of our partners, Open Data Watch and Paris 21, who have led the creation of the Commit to Data initiative. It is thanks to them that Commit to Data was a key outcome of the last UN World Data Forum, and has already gone on to mobilize over 75 commitments from a diverse group of stakeholders. These commitments demonstrate the power of data to improve lives everywhere, be that through youth-centered data governance, strengthening inclusion over the entire life course and civil registration systems, closing persistent data gaps on people with disabilities, or indeed in any one of the many more ways you will hear about today. Commitments like these show us what is possible, encourage further innovation, and deliver on the potential of data to build a better world. Dear friends from the world of data and statistics, let me also invite you to contribute directly to the organization of the forthcoming UN World Data Forum. The forum's call for program proposals is now open. Your submission to this call will help develop an engaging and interactive program reflecting the dynamic nature of today's data landscape, some elements of which already Fahad has alluded to. You can propose one or more activities for the program from several options: panel discussions, short talks, learning labs, demos, or announcements, and choose subjects that best reflect your interests and expertise, or indeed your most pressing concerns. The program committee will review and consider every completed submission received in deciding upon the final program for the forum. I thank them in advance for their efforts. We look forward to receiving your proposal, but please don't delay. The deadline of 26 January is not too far away. With that, let us go to today's webinar. We look forward to hearing directly from commitment makers and partners, learning from their experiences, and exploring how we can collectively strengthen commit to data and generate further commitments as we move towards Riyadh. I encourage all participants to engage actively in the discussion and see today as part of a broader shared journey. Thank you, and I wish all of us a productive, inspiring conversation.
Thank you very much, Shantanu, and thank you very much, Dr. Aldosari. This is really great. You set us off so well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, also here from Paris and from Paris 21. Together with Shada Badi from Open Data Watch, we will just say a few words about the background of the Commit to Data initiative in just a second. But I just wanted to say I'm so happy to see that you both mentioned the possibilities of all the participants that join us today to make an active contribution. I have to say personally, I mean, many of us go to events all the time in their professional life. And at some point, you always feel you want to do something. You want to do beyond maybe just a presentation or writing a paper, as important that is. I think this Commit to Data initiative, the single most important, I would say, added value to the many things that are existing is that you, as an individual, can make an active contribution. So something sticks on. It's just not for today, for tomorrow, but it could stay much longer. And we discussed this with Dr. Aldosari, who has a great interest with his team, not just the road to Riyadh and the event itself, but to have a long-lasting legacy. And I think that was the original spirit of the World Data Forum. So in this sense, I'm so excited that we have, just in a second, you will hear from two already existing commitments that are happening, and hopefully, and there will be very inspirational, but we also have two new ones. So we really hope to get your attention, your interest from everywhere where you hear this intervention to engage and to become active. Without further ado, I'm so delighted to have my partner in crime and the Open Data Watch team and the managing director of Open Data Watch, Shada Badi. She and her team were really instrumental to make this secretariat together with us as a sort of foundation for this initiative. I should also say we should acknowledge the financial support of the Hewlett Foundation for our secretariat work. Otherwise, we wouldn't perhaps be here. So Shada, tell us a little bit more about the history, what it means, Commit to Data, and where do we stand? Over to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Johannes. And if you allow me, I have a few slides to share. Let me see if I can get them up. Can you see them? Can you see my slides?
Yes, we can see. Wonderful.
Okay. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Thank you. Thanks and warm greetings and welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us today as part of the road to Riyadh towards the 6th UN World Data Forum. It's really a great pleasure to see you all coming together around a shared interest that we all have in strengthening data systems worldwide. My thanks also to our partners, GSStat, Paris 21, and UN Statistics Division for co-hosting today's webinar. Today, as Johannes said, I'll focus on the commit to data and kind of take you through how we started it and where we are and sort of how we can collectively improve it and take advantage to that towards the road to Riyadh. To understand commit to data, it's really good to sort of step back and look briefly at how the UN World Data Forum has evolved and what our vision for the commit to data is. The UN World Data Forum was created as a global space and a movement, in fact, to bring together the data community from governments, international organizations, civil societies, private sectors, and others to learn and understand and unite. That word is very important to me. Unite to strengthen the role of data in sustainable development. As the forum approaches its sixth edition, that goal is more important than ever, particularly given the many data crises facing the world today. Over the years, the program committee has worked to make the forum more inclusive, more action-oriented, and more impactful, and building on the lessons from each iteration of the World Data Forum. But there has been more than just a convening and a discussion space. As a result, the idea extend impact beyond the event itself. Commit to data grew from that moment as a way to translate the momentum of the UN World Data Forum into a concrete, time-bound commitment that carry forward forward on the road to Riyadh and in fact beyond. And as Johannes said, we've been very grateful to the Hewlett Foundation, who has been supporting Paris 21 and Open Data Watch to carry this out with support of the UN World Data Forum Program Committee. So the impact, these are the wonderful pictures we took in the previous World Data Forum with many who came forward to commit and to join the movement. So the commitment collected in the lead up to and at the forum reflect a long-term movement that carries us through the next UN World Data Forum and beyond. So commit to data has also been recognized in a broader global frameworks, including the Medellin Action Plan, where its implementation is underway, and the Sevilla Platform for Action under the Financing for Development process. So we're very pleased to see that. And all these signals that commitments are increasingly understood as foundational to broader development agenda. We see commit to data, therefore, not as a one-time off initiative. Johannes keeps on reminding us of that, but as a sustained community movement and a living platform to showcase our collective impact, progress, learning over time. We already mentioned the impact that we've had so far. So since its launch, Commit to Data has attracted commitments across different levels, from local, national, regional, and global. To date, as you see from this slide, we have 76 commitments from across 200 organizations, and that number is growing every day. While we have seen a strong global response, we are very much focused and interested to see more from regional, national, and local commitments, where actually the implementation happens. And we hope that some of the new announcements that we will hear today will fill those gaps. We look forward to seeing both the breadth and the depth of the commitments to increase. So what makes a strong commitment? A key principle of commit to data is that not all commitments are the same. And this diversity is important. Data systems are not built in one place. They are shaped everywhere. So strong commitments are concrete, clearly defined, and time-bound. They are grounded in real institutional work. either activities already underway or some that are ready to begin and some that need to be scaled up. And they all go beyond purely financial pledges, although I must say we do appreciate also financial pledges. Rather than aspirational statements, the focus is on commitments that are implementable and contribute to meaningful change in how data systems function and deliver impact. You'll see exactly what I mean when you hear from other commitment makers later today. So, what are some of the existing commitments that we are doing? And Shantanu made great examples of some of them. So, here I have a few examples of existing commitments. They are promoting a smart and more coordinated approach to data financing, such as the joint commitment that we have from UK and the Hewlett Foundation. They are strengthening and scaling existing programs rather than creating parallel efforts and forming new partnerships, such as initiatives like the upcoming Data Festival by the Global Partnership for Sustainable Development Data. We also see a strong focus on local data systems, including efforts like the Bogota's Quality of Life Survey and local statistical planning. Others are advancing more inclusive data systems, such as the Inter-American Development Bank's Communities of Practice in Latin America and the Caribbean, and ensuring emerging technologies, particularly AI, are used in ways that support official statistics and serve the public good, including work by the World Bank and UNHCR, for example, on forced displacement. So together, these commitments reflect where the data community sees both urgency and opportunities today. And we are really pleased to see them as a collection together in the Commit to Data initiative. So you may wonder why, why commit? So here are some sort of encouraging directions that we have in mind for the organizers. So Commit to Data, first of all, offers a data exposure through the World Data Forum events, pre-events, post-events, at the events, including plenary sessions, giving visibility to work that often is not seen and happens behind the scenes. It creates opportunities to connect with new partners and align efforts, helping to accelerate progress. And it provides a platform for leadership, demonstrating concrete actions and inspiring others to move from intentions to implementations. So overall, it's an initiative rooted in the upcoming UN World Data Forum with a vision that extends well beyond this November. So we put those words at the bottom of this screen, that our commitments today shapes the data ecosystem of tomorrow, which is really true and I hope encouraging for us all. So get in touch with us, please. Use this link to be able to get to the UN World Data Forum website and connect with us. You'll hear shortly from two new commitment makers, and we hope that you would join us as commitment makers. Our team is available. Visit the website, explore what others are doing, and consider making a commitment. Now, coming close to the end of my presentation, I wanted to share with you the journey that we have gone through and more to come on the road to Riyadh. And this year has been about scaling up and expanding while building also on the progress and community forms around the Commit to Data. We will continue to host online and in-person moments as we build towards the 6th World Data Forum. So Commit to Data continues throughout the UN World Data Forum cycle. By the time we reach Riyadh, inshallah, the goal is not simply to announce new commitments, but to demonstrate what has been delivered and to carry this movement towards beyond November and into 2027. So my closing call is let's look ahead. I encourage you to engage with the Commit to Data by making a new commitment, strengthening an existing one, or integrating Commit to Data into your World Data Forum session proposal. It's Commit to Data is about turning ambitions into actions and doing so together. We look forward to continuing this journey with you on the road to Riyadh. Thank you, and back to you, Johannes.
Thank you so much, Shada, for this very clear, articulated, and comprehensive overview of the Commit to Data initiative. This really woke our appetite now to hear from commitment makers. And as we have said, we have 2 existing commitments and 2 new ones. And I'm so delighted to have Amelia Greaves with us. She works at Equality Insights. She's senior program manager at the International Women's Development Agency, and she represents the iCount Coalition. Amelia, over to you. Tell us a little bit more about your commitment and the iCount Coalition and what you have achieved and where do you go next. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Good evening from Australia. And thank you for having me. It is a real pleasure to be here speaking to you all about our commitment, iCount. I would like to begin by recognising that I am joining this webinar from the lands of the Wurundjeri people. I pay my respect to all elders past and present and celebrate the diversity of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and their cultures and connection to land and waters of Australia. My name is Amelia Greaves. I am the Senior Program Manager for Equality Insights at the International Women's Development Agency, and we serve as the Secretariat for the iCount Coalition. iCount is an inclusive data campaign and coalition. Our membership of 20 organisations comes from government, civil society organisations, academia, networks and associations who are driving data innovations and working to increase visibility and inclusion of marginalised groups in global development data. For several years, Equality Insights program has engaged in conversations with like-minded organisations and networks on the limitations of the current development indicator framework. And with 2030 approaching rapidly, we knew time was critical. And the Commit to Data campaign offered an opportunity to leverage momentum and consolidate those conversations into committed actions. iCount was launched at the 2024 UN World Data Forum in Medellin, Colombia, as a global collaboration committed to advancing the visibility, voice, and value of all people through inclusive data systems. The coalition is working to ensure that no one is invisible in data and that inclusive data informs just policies and systems up to and beyond 2030. Through our collective efforts, our aim is to transform the data landscape, addressing the limitations of legacy systems where large segments of populations are excluded, and championing a future where global development data reflects the diverse experiences of all people, informing policies that promote equity and improve the quality of life for all, especially those who have been historically unrepresented in data. In the past 14 months since iCount was launched, we've completed a co-creation workshop involving all iCount members, which established coalition aims, parameters and direction, and we created a brand identity. This has been a really foundational year where we've introduced the coalition to the wider statistical community and the development sector, and included the thinking behind it, motivations for the coalition members, the relevance of inclusive data for informed and responsive policy, and initial thinking about approaches and opportunities to shape a 2030 indicator framework that prioritises inclusion and individuals. So we hosted events at the Commission on the Status of Women, the High Level Political Forum, and the UN Statistical Commission. And we've also been the co-chair of the Inclusive Data Working Group for Women Deliver 2026 conference, which is one of the largest feminist and gender equality convenings worldwide. That will be held in April. And the aim there is to ensure that data, specifically inclusive data, is a core woven theme throughout the program of the conference. Looking forward to the year ahead in the lead up to the 6th World Data Forum, we're looking to broaden the iCount network of supporters, deepen the public discourse on the value of inclusive data, and shoring up the public's trust in data at this really critical time. We want to work with like-minded, diverse organisations to influence what comes after the current development framework and ensure that whatever the landscape looks like, we are prioritising the collection of data that reflects the diverse experiences of all people, including linking up with other commitment holders where they're aligned with our aims. Each coalition member and others in our ecosystem are individually contributing towards our goals with their existing programs of work, and the coalition will act as an amplification tool to broadly share existing work and progress being made in this space. Beyond ensuring that inclusive data is a key topic throughout Women Deliver, we're also hosting an inclusive data pre-conference, which will look at data advocacy and data storytelling through practical hands-on sessions. And if you're coming to Women Deliver in April, we'd love to see you there. And lastly, we hope for the coalition to be present at the upcoming World Data Forum, both as a moment for connection and also hopefully with an interactive session on inclusive data, which we've collaboratively designed with other coalition members. So in closing, I wanted to thank the organisers for allowing me to spotlight the iCount commitment. And as a shameless plug, if you are interested in learning more about iCount or connecting and collaborating, please do reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amelia. This was really a fascinating journey you told us about. You achieved quite a lot in more or less a little bit more than a year. So congratulations for this. And also what I really like personally is the link to the SDG agenda, to the Agenda 2030, which still is on Leave No One Behind. And with all the developments we see in this global multilateral cooperation, I think it's important to stress some of those key still ongoing goal framework that all leaders actually agree to and which is running up to 2030. So your commitment makes a great contribution to this end. So thank you so much for this. And we are looking forward to seeing you in Riyadh. Thank you so much. Let's move on. And we have a second very, very interesting commitment that was also made some time ago. And the presenter is Cyrus Darpour from the Ghana Statistical Service. Cyrus is the project manager there, and he will present us some thoughts and ideas about the collaborative on citizen data. So over to you, Cyrus.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity to be here this morning. I'm speaking to you from Accra, Ghana, and speaking from Ghana Statistical Service, but speaking on behalf of the Collaborative on Citizen Data. It's a great opportunity to join this course. So nearly 2 years ago, the Collaborative came together before this community with a clear mission to expand the representation of all people in data and to ensure that citizens have real agency in the decisions that shape their lives. Because when everyone is represented, we make better decisions and deliver stronger social impact. So at the heart of this mission is our shared understanding of what citizen data is. And this is data generated through initiatives where citizens engage at different stages of the data value chain, guided by the principles of inclusiveness, responsibility, professionalism, and this definition, you realize the focus is not only on whether the data enters official statistics, but also on how it is produced and governed. Now, our commitment emerged in response to a pressing challenge. Data drives action, yet in many countries today, data systems appear to remain untimely, incomplete, or insufficiently inclusive. So as the world faces overlapping crises, these gaps threaten progress toward the 2030 agenda. Hard to reach and marginalized communities remain underrepresented due to bias, vulnerabilities, and limited collection methods. So closing these gaps through open, participatory, and transparent processes is essential for equitable development and for improving the rights and living conditions of those. Most data will now reflect on 3 anchors on which we build our commitment. And number 1 is what we committed to. Number 2, what have we achieved so far? And number 3, what comes next on the road to Riyadh? What we committed to. Ladies and gentlemen, first we committed to placing citizens at the center of data systems, not as passive subjects, but as active contributors and rights holders. And this includes producing, governing, and using citizen data responsibly, clarifies roles and supports responsible practice across civil society, communities, citizens, transforming participation into participation. Second, we committed to creating a sustainable ecosystem. Now, steering committee initiated development of a multi-partner trust fund designed to convene bilateral donors.
Cyrus, you are breaking up in between. Would you mind to switch off your camera
Philanthropic
to
partners
get
and provide
more?
long-term support
Cyrus,
for
could
scaling
you?
citizen data approaches.
Cyrus, you are breaking up in
Discussions
between. Oops. Could you maybe switch off the camera to have more bandwidth? Can you try, because you are breaking up? We sometimes lose you a little bit. Maybe it's better if you, yeah, maybe can you just
hear me
repeat
now,
the second? Yeah, I think it's better. So I think we lost you a little bit with the second point of the, if you can repeat this, please.
The commitment. Okay. So the second commitment we made of what we have committed to is that we committed to creating a sustainable ecosystem. So our steering committee initiated the development of a multi-partner trust fund designed to convene bilateral donors and philanthropic partners and provide long-term support for scaling citizen data methodologies. So early steps have already been completed and partnership discussions are underway. Now, the second anchor we want to speak to is what have we achieved so far? Now, since the last World Data Forum, we have made significant progress, and I'm happy to say a major milestone was the UN Statistical Commission's endorsement of the Copenhagen Framework as a shared normative reference, signaling that citizen data, when produced ethically and transparently, belongs within national data ecosystems. We have also focused on practical implementation, and we have developed guidance on citizen engagement, national partnerships, intersectionality, advanced work on data quality, and we have begun developing national implementation toolkits. Now, as we speak, our working groups continue to drive progress in priority areas such as gender and citizen data, integration of citizen data into official statistics, AI and citizen data, and linkages between citizen science and citizen data. Importantly, we are even seeing a cultural transformation, unprecedented collaboration between national statistical offices and civil society organizations. So these partnerships are bridging the community knowledge gap. And just to give you a brief example from Ghana, so far, I'm happy to report that we have successfully implemented 5 citizen data projects and still counting. And 2 of those citizen data projects have made great impact stories, and where we, from project inception to closure, we connected with the citizens, with civil society, and everyone involved. Now, what comes next as we move on the road to Riyadh 2026? Ladies and gentlemen, 3 priorities guide our work. First, skill integration. We are deepening the integration of citizen data into national and sectoral systems to community-generated insights, strengthening trust and governance. We are advancing quality assurance, ethics, transparency, and protection so institutions can use citizen data confidently and communities can contribute safely. Third, demonstrating impact. As we speak, we are elevating rigorous evidence and compelling stories from across the world, not only from Ghana, showing how citizen data improves services, promotes gender equality, and supports climate and environmental action. So colleagues, in closing, this is a shared project owned by governments, NSOs, civil society, academia, philanthropists, and bilateral partners, and above all, by the citizens and communities themselves. And it reflects a simple truth. Alone, we go fast, but together, we go far. So if we are committed to leaving no one behind, we must be equally committed to bringing everyone into how we produce data, how we govern it, and how we use it for public good. So as we chart the road to Riyadh, the invitation of the Collaborative on Citizen Data is simple. Join us, invest with us, build with us. Let us ensure that every person is not only counted but heard, not only represented but respected, not only visible in the data but empowered through it. Citizen data is not a promise of the future. It is a practice of the present. Together, you and I, collaborative on citizen data and everyone else, through the Commit to Data initiative and our shared commitment, we can unlock its full potential for people all around the planet. Thank you so much for this opportunity to present on behalf of all the collaborative on citizen data. Thank you.
Thank you, Cyrus, and thank you so much for presenting this really impressive work you have been doing with this collaboration. And I think if you step back for a second, I mean, we discuss often the crisis of data systems and the challenges and the future of national statistical offices. I personally feel that the way of engaging more with citizens is key, but not citizens, as you said, just as an object of observation, just as one dot in the population curve, but as an own agent, and to see and get them interested, because I truly believe, and I think that's also comes out of your work, is that if citizens are interested in the work statisticians are doing, National Statistical Office are doing, you will raise the support also then from parliamentarians and others who would eventually fund this. So I think your coalition work, but also your concrete work in countries is really great, and it's spanning. It's a commitment that spans from global activities to very local practical stuff. So congratulations for this, and we look forward to hear more about this in the not so far future.
Thank you.
Having heard two existing commitments, now we move to two new ones. So they are in the making, and I'm so delighted to see my good friend Sam Anim, Professor Sam Anim, Director of the Africa Center for Statistics at the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. Sam, so what are you up to? What do you commit for the Commit to Data initiatives? What are your plans? We are so excited to hear from you. Over to you.
Thank you, Johannes. Colleagues, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, Johannes, the question that you asked are commitments that we are initiating through collaborations and partnerships. And with your permission, I'll just talk about one that the Africa Center for Statistics is nurturing. So the first one is what PRI 21 is leading on the tax team on AI. And I'm happy to have heard from the President Aldasori and also from Sheida talking about artificial intelligence, which definitely is indispensable in the work that we do. So in the year 2025, throughout the year, PRI 21 committed to ensuring that national statistical offices are AI ready. And what we meant by AI readiness is ensuring that we had a white paper on AI, which will guide not just being aware of artificial intelligence, but rising through the maturity ladder and ensuring that we have national statistical offices moving from awareness, putting it into action to a point that they are transformational in what we do. So for colleagues, awareness creation, if you go on the PRI 21 website, there is a white paper on the AI readiness of National Statistical Office. Going forward, we're going to build capacities of national statistical offices to ensure that they do a self-assessment across what we call the SPEED framework. The SPEED simply looks at issues around the state, looks at issues around policy governance and trust. It looks at issues around expertise, skills, and culture. And the second E talks about the engine, which is what we do as data and statisticians, which is data and its infrastructure. And the D is the delivery and value. So if you go through this SPEED framework, you identify 28 indicators that national statistical offices can assess themselves in terms of where they are on the ladder, on the scale of awareness, as I did indicate earlier on, to maturity. I'm also happy to see Open Data Watch and Asheda rightfully indicated. In my mind, Commit to Data is really echoing the indispensability of data and statistics. I don't think we are contesting it. What we are doing is to say that the Commit to Data initiative is echoing that indispensability of data and statistics and making it more real. So the second initiative is around the conversation on time use surveys. As I recall, one director from Kenya did indicate, and I fully associate with that statement, that time is our most valuable resource. However, it remains invisible in what we do as data and statisticians, and especially on the African continent in the last 20 or so years, you see most national statistical systems having a maximum of just about 4 surveys on time use survey, which are either standalone surveys or embedded in other surveys. So one of the commit to data work that we're doing is to ensure that we really see time use reflected in how the Financing for Development conference outcome document was fleshed out. And it was fleshed out to make data and statistics more as a policy design instrument and drift away from using data and statistics as what we do traditionally in terms of monitoring and evaluation. And this is exactly what time use survey, time use data for macroeconomic and sectoral policies seeks to do. So this underscores what I said earlier on, that Commit to Data's initiative is really echoing the indispensability of data and statistics, because time use survey, unlike the traditional surveys that we are used to, i.e. the demographic and health surveys, the living standard measurements, not that cross-cutting in terms of very specific on the policy value chain, right from the design to the evaluation stage. However, time use, as we all know, is very central to the policy design because it's the most valuable resource that we have. Johannes, the last one that the African Center for Statistics has initiated, which may come across as pretty new to quite a number of us, is the conversation around committing to moving away from what we are calling statistical silos to statistical blocks. And if you look at how the Medellin framework was crafted and the action document on data for sustainable development, which had 4 pillars and 12 action points. One of them was focusing on the use and value of data and statistics for better decision making. And one of the things that we've not been very good at in this community is around the communication strategies. That is why we continue to see a number of development indicators in silos. So one of the Commit to Data initiatives that we are going through approval processes at the Africa Center for Statistics is to campaign for national statistical systems to present statistics as blocks, which would enable national statistical offices to move away from the presentation of statistics based on just demographics and locational variables to really look at the policy inputs that leads to the desired outcomes that we have. So these are the 3 initiatives that the Africa Center for Statistics, that is the task team on AI, the AI readiness of national statistical system, the time use survey, profiling what African national statistical offices are doing, and the drift away from statistical silos to statistical blocks. These are the 3 Commit to Data initiatives that the African Center for Statistics is proud on our way to Riyadh to make sure that it receives the needed attention across the globe. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sam. This is really impressive. You added 1 more. I mean, we were expecting 2. You're already at 3. So, by the way, there is no limitation, huh? So you can go on further. So it was also good to see that your commitments are quite diverse, from institutional consideration to very time used to AI. So that was really, really very good. I thank you for your dedication, and we're looking forward to the implementation and to the follow-up of your commitment. So we have we have one last commitment, and we are so delighted to have I think it's Unur from the Statistical, Economic and Social Research and Training Center for Islamic Countries, CESRIC.
Yes,
Onur,
Johannes.
we are delighted to have you with us, and to have your commitment from your region, from your perspective. Over to you.
Thank you, Johannes. Thank you, dear colleagues. I am delivering the message and the commitment of CESRIC on behalf of the Director General of CESRIC, Her Excellency Zehra Zümrüt Selçuk. First of all, we would like to thank, of course, GASTAT, Paris 21 and Open Data Watch for convening this important discussion and for inviting CESRIC to contribute to the Commit to Data initiative. As highlighted in the initiative's framing, Commit to Data provides a practical bridge between UN World Data Forum in Medellin and the upcoming forum in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, mobilizing concrete, time-bound, and measurable actions that strengthen data systems for sustainable development in line with the Cape Town Global Action Plan. SESRIC is the subsidiary organ of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, based in Ankara, and we serve as the secretariat of the OIC Statistical Commission, the OIC.com. Through this platform, we support cooperation among the national statistical offices across the OIC region, and we work to strengthen national data ecosystems through capacity development, knowledge exchange, and statistical dissemination tools, including the OIC Statistics Database, OIC Stat, and related analytical publications. Against this background, SESRIC's commitment will build on an existing agreed OIC-level framework, the OIC.com Program of Action for 2026-2030, under the OIC.com Strategic Vision for 2030. Our commitment focuses on a critical enabler for better data, open, trusted, and well-governed official statistics. Especially SESRIC, in collaboration with the national statistical offices of the OIC member countries, would like to commit to advancing open data and statistical governance modernization in OIC member countries. And we see this as a living commitment, not a one-off statement. We intend to periodically reflect on the progress through relevant regional and global moments, and to report back on achievements and lessons learned, including the UN World Data Forum in Riyadh this year, as well as at other major global and regional statistical events in the future. This commitment aims to strengthen the enabling environment for modern data ecosystems by supporting, first, modernized statistical governance and legislation aligned with the fundamental principles of official statistics, and the second, the practical integration of open data principles into official statistics processes. This commitment is actionable and measurable with two clear milestones from the OIC.com Program of Action. In this year, 2026, we will organize a dedicated capacity building workshop on modernizing statistical legislation reforms, bringing together NSOs of OIC countries and relevant partners to exchange practical approaches and lessons learned. And in 2030, SESRIC will organize a regional webinar to share experiences and best practices on open data practices in official statistics, including contributions from OIC member countries and international and regional organizations. And of course, between these two milestones events that we are committing today, we will sustain peer learning and strengthen the capacities of our member countries through the OIC.com framework. And we will share lessons learned and best practices with the global statistical community alongside the Commit to Data platform in line with the initiative's light touch and self-led approach. We see this commitment as a practical contribution to achieving the SDGs by strengthening own foundations of national data systems, improving transparency, usability, and trust, while ensuring that official statistics continue to serve the public good. We look forward to collaborating with Paris 21, Open Data Forge, GASTAT, and any interested partners. And we welcome further dialogue with organizations that would like to support or connect with this commitment as we move forward this year towards Riyadh. So thank you very much for your kind attention and for the opportunity. Floor is back to you, Johannes.
Thank you so much, Onur. This what I take away from your commitment specifically is one word. It's the word peer review. It's the word that you in your region, you sort of benchmark countries for good practices, and they are very open to share experiences and to learn from each other. And I think in this today's world, it's very good to see this commitment to be open to share good experiences, but also experiences where we maybe failed and from which we can learn. So this is really appreciated, and we are looking forward to hear more about the progress of your initiative when we are seeing us in Riyadh. So thank you to all commitment makers. We now move to the road to Riyadh per se, and as it has been said, this event is part of the road to Riyadh, and we are now all curious to hear a little bit more about the road to Riyadh. We know that our friends and colleagues from GSTAT put a lot of effort in designing it. And so I'm really excited to have Haitham with us from GI Stat to tell us a little bit more about the journey. We are just at the beginning of the road. What happens next on that road? Haitham, over to you.
Thank you, Your Highness. I have slides I would like to share if I can. Can you see my slides?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Your Highness. Again, thank you for the distinguished speakers and the viewers who turned on to us today. So today I will shed some light on how Rotary advancing global partnerships. So what is Rotary? Rotary is a structured and sequenced series of engagement led by the Saudi General Authority for Statistics, supporting the preparation for the 6th UN World Data Forum that will be hosted in November this year. It serves three core functions. First, it provides a foster collaboration across national statistical offices and relevant stakeholders. Second, it advances discussion on statistical priorities by anchoring events to the UNWDF thematic areas and sub-themes. And third, it supports sustained engagement through coordinated events. In total, the Rotariad includes 19 events, each designed to address priority issues and strengthening coordination across the statistical community. This slide presents the overall timeline of the Rotariad. And here I would like to highlight three key points. First, the events have been designed to align closely with the UNWDF thematic areas and sub-themes. Second, the series covers a range of dimensions, including partnerships, social, innovation, and sustainability. In addition, we will deliver a dedicated set of technical sessions under the title Quarterly Workshops, Statistical Practices, where we aim to share GStat's experiences across its core statistical functions and promote practical knowledge exchange within the statistical community. And finally, Rotariad has been developed and implemented in close collaboration with domestic, regional, and international partners. So why Rotariad matters? Well, across the statistical ecosystem, the importance of partnerships has become increasingly clear, not as a general principle, but as a practical requirement to address shared challenges. And two challenges are particularly reoccurring. First, coordination needs. Support to national data through multiple projects and initiatives. It is noted that weak coordination across such efforts can reduce alignment with national priority and strategy. The second challenge is knowledge gap. So knowledge gaps in the sense of limited and uneven knowledge exchange, while of course strong practice and innovation exist across countries and institutions, peer learning is not always systematic, and opportunities to share lessons learned remain uneven. So taken together, these challenges highlight the value of partnerships and collaboration across the ecosystem. And what Rotariad enables. So against this background, Rotariad is structured as a time-bound engagement series leading up to the UNWDF 2026 and designed to support cross-sector collaboration. Its contribution is not intended to replace existing initiative or frameworks, but to provide structured space for connection and dialogue across stakeholders. In practice, Rotariad supports three areas: priority alignment, by facilitating dialogue on shared priorities and common challenges, stakeholder alignment by strengthening engagement across national, regional, and international actors, and connecting initiatives by promoting visibility of ongoing work and encouraging complementarity, particularly where efforts may otherwise remain fragmented. And in doing so, the series helps create greater coherence across discussions while remaining fully aligned with national mandates and priorities. Of course, however, the objective is not only to organize discussions ahead of the forum, there is also an important legacy dimension. So to maximize the impact, continuity beyond the UNWDF 2026 is essential. And legacy in this context is defined less by a single event, by more and more by sustained collaboration across ecosystem. And two elements are central here. First, knowledge exchange, ensuring that peer learning continues and that good practices and lessons learned remain available and accessible across the community. Second, lasting partnership, supporting ongoing relationships and follow-up collaboration beyond the forum, where stakeholders can continue building on shared priorities and joint learning. And in this way, Road to Riyadh is positioned not only as an introductory series for the UNWDF 2026, but also as a contribution towards sustained engagement across this historical ecosystem. I'll stop here and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Haitham, for presenting us the Road to Riyadh. In all honesty, I was thinking this could become also a commitment. This looks so fantastic because you have everything what makes a commitment. You have a clear vision, you have a accountability mechanism, and it's so much related to the World Data Forum. So that's maybe something you and your colleagues might want to think about, because it's just so good, and it just sort of enters very nicely into the thinking that we have heard before. So we have one last speaker, and it's I'm delighted to introduce Ian Rutherford from the United Nations Statistical Division. Ian will give us a quick overview where we stand with sending in proposals for the World Data Forum. Ian, over to you.
Thank you, Johannes, and thanks for giving me a last couple of words as we finish this very interesting webinar. I've been lucky enough as being part of the UN Secretariat who's helped organize these UN World Data Forums. I've been involved in the last 3 and really looking forward to this one in Riyadh. Looking forward to the continuation of these series of events on the road to Riyadh. And I think it's just shown just the maturity of where we've reached with the way the forum has been positioned, and really look forward to hearing from new commitments and existing commitments at the next forum. Thanks to the General Statistics Authority and Paris 21 and Open Data Watch of continuing to push this forward. So yes, I mean, as my acting director said at the beginning, the call for program proposals is very much open and active, and we really need to hear from you there in the audience to put forward a range of different proposals. We offer a lot of different formats now. I think this program will probably be sharper than previous ones in terms of the topics. I think many of the topics that were mentioned here today are incredibly relevant, and we look forward to hearing how you're engaging with artificial intelligence, with safeguards to misinformation, for looking ahead at how we conclude the 2030 agenda and beyond. And as well, just the changing data landscape of which we're in, and the challenges and opportunities that takes. So I'll leave with just 2 key pieces of information for the audience. So it's the website, undataforum.org. Please visit it. It has all the information, frequently asked questions, of course, the call that I mentioned, how to submit a proposal, what it takes, the criteria you need to think about, and of course, our email address, dataforum@un.org. Please send us a message if you have any questions, any queries, any clarifications. We're here to support you and looking forward to supporting another wonderful World Data Forum with this community. Thank you. Back to you, Hannes.
Thank you very much, Ian. Very clear. So don't miss the deadline. Send in proposals. We will all be excited to receive them. Look, colleagues and friends, it's 12:31 here in Paris PM. I'm really surprised that we managed to have so many speakers in time. And I have three quick sort of remarks at the end. First of all, thanking all the speakers here, all the colleagues who took the floor. It's just amazing. You have been amazing, sharing some really interesting activities and providing us some guiding works, and that all in time. So thank you so much for this. Thank you also for all the participants. We can't see them, but we heard some of 600 registered participants all over the world. This is really exciting. So thank you so much for making the time. Secondly, I hope the core of the seminar was about the commitments. And as has been said, it's good to see the commitments. You can go to the website, as Shada was saying. But even more importantly, maybe you want to go back to your desk if you can and think about writing up your own commitment. As you can see, it can start very small. We have little local commitments. Some of them turn into big ones, some stay small. But I think the Road to Riyadh has place for many vehicles. It could be just a bicycle, it could be a lorry, could be anything of those kind of things. I think that the main point we wanted to give you a chance is become an active contributor to this Commit to Data initiative. And last but not least, we hear so many bad news these days, challenges of multilateralism, challenges of development cooperation, and the world gets into fighting with these others. And so I'm so happy to see that cooperation still works. Cooperation between different people, different nations, different religions, different attitudes in this very sort of confined field of data and development. It still works. I mean, people are happy to come share on a voluntary basis. And I think we should keep up that core spirit of our community. This is really very good. And I still believe very much we should focus on the SDGs. We have still 4 years to go. Let's not get confused. We have an agenda that has been signed by 180 heads of states. This is the mandate that we have, and I think we should not get confused. Let's focus on this. Everybody can make a contribution. And yeah, with this, I wanted to thank you again. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and see you soon wherever in this world, and wishing you all the best. Thank you very much on behalf of Shada, GA Stud, and ourselves. Bye-bye.